Yo boys and girls, how you all doing? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, Cristiano Ronaldo, a lot of news in the past 48 to 72 hours, and I thought I'd do a video about it because it's Ronaldo, and this is something that I think we all kind of knew would happen the second that we knew that they weren't going to qualify for the Champions League. This is very, very predictable. I kind of want your guys' thoughts. We can have a bit of a discussion, together. I'll give you my thoughts and my standpoint on it and what I believe will happen, if you guys even care about that, really. Maybe you don't. Yo, do you play FIFA 22? Yeah. Is your team bang average? You absolute pathetic piece of... You're saying that to the viewers? No, obviously. Ah, okay. I mean you. Do you face teams like this? You can't keep getting away with it! Do you know there's a way to get coins? Why are you shouting at me? Then go to userbuy.com for the cheapest and most reliable place to buy your coins on FIFA 22. Link is down below in the description, and also use code Vizeh at checkout to get a discount. From what I can gather from the situation, I kind of feel like Ronaldo, with his openness in terms of that he is willing to leave Manchester United if an offer does come in, I think it's playing the game quite a bit here. Realistically, not many clubs in the world can really afford Ronaldo unless if Ronaldo takes a pay cut. Realistically, there's not many clubs that can really do it. You're talking of a very narrow set of clubs here that can actually do it. The main thing which I have with this entire scenario is that Ronaldo knew what he was going into. Ronaldo knew that when he signed up to go and join back to Manchester United, that he knew the state that the club was already in. He knew who it was run by. He knew that it was run by the Glazers. He knew that they spent how many years not replacing players that they lost several years ago. So I find it kind of weird how he joined for 1 year and then seems to be surprised by that the club, which has been run by like a show, like a clown show for the last 5 to 10 years, is still a clown show in 5 to 10 years, and the plus extra year that he was already there. So that's my main thing, which I'm kind of thinking: do fans have a right to think that he's jumping ship, that he's pussying out almost? Do you think that people are true to say that they think that he is almost backstabbing Manchester United by joining a club that he already knew was in the mud and had a lot of problems within the club, however, joined anyway, and then is acting as if this is something brand new? Because Ronaldo is true to the fact that, maybe he's seen the club behind the scenes is not ran efficiently. Maybe he's seen the fact that there is still so many problems that he's seen is just unrepairable, for the next couple of years at least. So that he's thinking that, look, like, what more can he possibly do here? And with a player like Ronaldo, and you see Ronaldo as the best of the best and wanted to prove himself as the best of the best, he sees that potentially stick with United could potentially harm the end of his career, because dumps that Ronaldo are in right now may potentially drag down Ronaldo's legacy, not only at Manchester United, but in terms of football in general. If you are Ronaldo in this situation, how would you react? What would you do if you are the best of the best, or trying to be the best of all time, top goal scorer, tallies, all that, and that you join your club which you love when you're a young age, and you join them and you realize that they are not in a good way? Would you stick with them to potentially harm your own legacy as a footballer when you're not playing at the best of the best? You've not got those continuous records that you're trying to continue with and try to achieve. How many goals has he got in Champions League now? Got number 1. He wants to achieve higher than that. He wants to make his record so high that no one else can beat that. Ronaldo is obsessed with records. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows that Ronaldo is absolutely obsessed with his records, especially in Champions League and especially in these top level competitions. And playing Man United could potentially harm that. Maybe seeing the players at the club and seeing who they're bringing in and seeing the players that they are struggling on bringing in, like De Jong. This entire scenario, this entire saga is like a bit of a mess here. Is he seeing this and thinking that it is potentially more harmful for his legacy by staying at Manchester United? And maybe fans could be annoyed by that, by thinking that he is pretty much ditching Man United for his own personal cause. Do you agree with him by doing that, or do you not? Because Ronaldo's trying to do this in the nicest way possible. He's trying to say that, look, like, I'm willing to leave if someone puts a bid in, essentially putting himself in a shop window saying, I kind of want to leave here, but he's trying to do it in a way which is seen as nice and like not to harm his legacy with Man United fans too much. Because if he says he wants to leave, that is entirely different to saying that I am willing to leave. That is entirely two different things he's saying, but they both really mean the same thing. That he wants to leave, but one way is a much more nicer way of saying it. That he's willing to leave, i.e. I will leave happily once I get an offer which is suitable. End of the day, the way that I see it from the outside looking in, Ronaldo cares about Ronaldo. Ronaldo cares about Ronaldo. Ronaldo cares about his legacy. Going back to Man United was very much a media storm more than anything. And that if it went well and they qualified for UCL, then happy days, he'll probably stay there. But now they're not in UCL. You know, he cares about how he's seen in the future, not just by Man U fans, but by fans in football in general, forever. So he would do whatever he can do to protect himself. But the main problem about all this is that Manchester United would not be where they are right now, you know, without Ronaldo. I mean, facts are facts here. Before Ronaldo joined, they were second. And when he joined, they were sixth. That's just the reality of it. So Ronaldo should also take responsibility for himself here, that even though, yes, he was one of the best players of the year, him and De Gea was one of the best players of the year, and that maybe you may say, yeah, but what else can Ronaldo do? Ronaldo is part of that team that came sixth, you know, and I know Ronaldo, you know, he did have a pretty decent goal record, to be fair to him, and you can't blame it all Ronaldo. Of course I'm not blaming it all Ronaldo whatsoever. However, if he is part of a team which has gone from second to sixth, of course it's probably quite skewed, that second place, but that is where they were. Factually, that's where they finished the year before. Do you think that he should have that responsibility to stick with them? You know, for longer than a season at least. It's so weird. There's so many ways that you can see this Ronaldo situation. Maybe him going can maybe be a good thing. However, it's so rare that you can lose your best player and get better. That's very rare that happens. They're so separated in terms of what fans really want. The opinions are so diverse of what people really want and what people actually think is realistic. Then what happens is that it becomes almost a toxic war zone online. That's why I know many Man U fans that I know, they don't even bother with social media. They just cannot be bothered with it. It makes their life so much more peaceful by not being online. One Man U fan saying any other player will be getting pelters for acting like Ronaldo has. He doesn't want to be here so he can do one. He has known since before the end of the last year that there will be no Champions League. He drops this just before pre-season while the club are fighting to convince new players to join. This makes the club less attractive. Ten Hag has probably told him something he didn't want to hear, and now he wants out as soon as possible. Move on and start the rebuild around young, upcoming talent ready to work for the team and the manager. And then a different Man U fan says something completely different, saying the delusion continues. Ronaldo wants out due to lack of ambition. You've got Ten Hag coming out saying, talk about second place and how these players aren't bad players and everyone will be given a second chance, even though these are the very players that have thrown many managers and each other under the bus and put us in this mess to begin with, and people think things will have changed. If an offer comes in that they see as suitable, that can actually afford him, then he will be willing to go. He'll be open to the idea of leaving. So right now, give me your thoughts. Do you agree with Ronaldo? Do you think that it is understandable for him to leave, as he is Ronaldo, you know, one of the best of all time, or the best of all time for no matter who you ask? And do you think that he should be, you know, okay with almost taking a back step in his career of a year missing out on UCL football to stick along with Manchester United, and also more importantly with the project that Ten Hag may have with Man United? Do you think that Ronaldo may be actually in the way of the rebuild? I mean, it kind of sounds dumb to say, but like, would having Ronaldo maybe, you know, have elements of changing the system that they want to play? You know, what does Ten Hag want to do with the ball? How does he want to move the ball up the pitch, and how does he want to do any sort of pressure up the pitch? In terms of pressing and counter-pressing, would Ronaldo being on the pitch be harmful to that? You know, these are things that were spoke about a lot last year in terms of work rate. You see City, you see Liverpool, more importantly, you know, of how hard they work on the pitch, and people think that Ronaldo isn't that type of player, and you need those type of workhorses to do really well in football nowadays. Like, I can't see him playing in England still. I can't see him playing for Chelsea. I genuinely just cannot imagine that. Like, it just doesn't compute in my head, him playing for Chelsea. I can't see Bayern Munich wanting Ronaldo. I kind of feel like that kind of goes against their kind of, you know, what they are as a football club. I kind of feel like that goes against what they want. And then there's PSG, and it's like, right, probably if they sold Mbappe, but like, surely if they get Mbappe in that brand new deal and then also Ronaldo, surely FFP has to say hello at some stage. Surely, right? And then who else is there? There's like maybe Italy again, Juventus, but they won't touch him. And would Inter Milan have the money for it, or AC Milan? I don't know. And then there's Real Madrid, potentially. You know, the money that they had for Mbappe may go towards Ronaldo. Barcelona definitely has no money. So then you've kind of ticked off who's actually available. And it's like, really, I think Real Madrid. So really, I just kind of think that, you know what, man? it's just kind of like, I cannot see him actually go anywhere. I think he's going to stay. Ronaldo will not want to leave in a way that will ruin his kind of reputation at Man United. He want to make sure he leaves on good terms that makes it make sense and put him in a nice way possible. I think he'll keep playing until he's 45. I think he'll be playing years and years in the future. He'll end up in MLS. He'll end up in Portugal. You know, even him being at age of 43, he'll still be a good goal scorer because of how he keeps his body up to check. So I cannot imagine him in any way like finish playing football in the next few years. As of right now, I can see Ronaldo staying, mainly because I can't really see what club is really suitable for him to join, realistically. I just don't think there's really many clubs available. Man United, they need to improve their midfield massively. There's so many gaps there which they need to improve. So maybe Ronaldo was seeing that and maybe having some concerns, maybe some questions like, okay, well, you know, is this really going in the right direction fast enough for me? If you're a Manchester United fan, tell me down below where your thought process is. If he wants to go, just let him go. Do you think that's beneficial? Or do you think that you got to do everything you possibly can to keep him there? Because without him, you think that it could be even worse next year. You know, who could be your striker next year? Is Martial coming back? Is Rashford going to be back in form? There's so many questions at Manchester United right now. So tell me your thoughts down below in the comments. Right now, I'd be surprised if he goes. I'd be very surprised, but you never know. I'll see you guys next time for another video, and stay safe.